What you are looking at here are not scenes from Denis Villeneuve's Dune. These are renders from Tomi Földes, a Hungarian motion graphics and 3D artist, and represents about a week's worth of work. What I love about this Dune tribute is that it's evident that the playing field has been leveled. You no longer have to be a Hollywood big shot with a large budget and a studio apparatus behind you to create work that, at times, looks just as good as what you'd see on the big silver screen. Today I'm sitting down with Tomi to hear about his journey into 3D, his process in making the Dune tribute, and what his advice would be to people wanting to create the same level of magic he's done here. We get into the importance of personal passion projects, Octane versus Redshift, Cinema 4D and After Effects, and so much more. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, I've been into motion design for 12, 15 years or something, so a pretty long time, but it wasn't motion design all the time. I started working as an editor in Premiere Pro. I just felt like it's not enough, so I need something else. So I started picking up After Effects after that, and that's the 90% of motion design. So when I opened After Effects 10 years ago or something, it was love at first sight. So I knew that's what I will do for the rest of my life if I'm able to. There were some things that I just couldn't do in 2D space. So obviously I had to move to 3D. And for a motion designer, what else than Cinema 4D? So I started learning Cinema 4D. It's the same. I loved it. It's easy to use. It's like designer friendly. So they say it's the designer's choice of 3D. I'm using Octane and Redshift as well. I'm a huge Octane guy, but I switched to Redshift for some projects a couple of years ago. I was in the alpha team of Redshift, so I was there from the beginning. And Redshift is amazing. It's a beautiful render engine. For some things I use Octane, for some things I use Redshift, because just like with software, you have to use the best tool for the job. If I need to do something that's really heavy on materials, I prefer the material editor of Redshift, because the layering and the overall how it works, it's much more intuitive for me. Octane is great as well. With Octane, for example, I prefer, if I'm doing environments, I prefer Octane because it's a pleasure to use. It's amazing. You can get amazing results in no time, and the look dev and the overall R&D is more of a pleasure in Octane for me. You have to have a plan to do. For example, a good example was the scene of the, I don't know the names. I call them the dark priestesses. When they are walking towards the left side of the screen. That's a really, really render heavy scene because of the environment and fog. And that it's always a pain in the ass to render an environment. But I had the reference open all the time, and I was looking at it for a day or so. They have these lights from the spaceship that illuminates the fog and the whole area. And it's so render heavy. So I did the whole thing in 3D just to see how it's gonna work out. Newsflash, it didn't, because I have a pretty good PC with a 3080 Ti GPU, so it's pretty fast. But my render time was 50, 60 minutes a frame. So I was no, I'm not doing this. So I had to compromise, and I rendered out a depth pass and I rendered out minimal fog. And everything was just compositing afterwards. I love compositing in After Effects because that's a really enjoyable thing, for me at least. So I was faking everything. and sometimes you have to do it. And I imported all the passes, and then I could just overlay some colors, give some fake depth to it. Just use the fractal noise for the lamp, just mimic the effect of the fog. So as the fog was moving inside the light, and the 50 frames render time went down to like 50 seconds a frame or something. I failed with creating the clothes because I knew not much about Marvelous Designer. I was making the clothes with Marvelous. I started learning like 2 weeks ago, Marvelous Designer before.
Oh, and you just put that together like that. Wow, that's amazing, dude.
Yeah, it's like, it's not that hard, but you know,
The end result is great.
Focused when I'm learning something. I'm just focused. I'm like, my wife cannot talk to me. She goes crazy about that, but it's like that. There are so many skills you need, and creating beautiful and amazing stuff is just one part of it. Like, you have to learn business skills. You have to learn how to talk to clients and everything. If you want to be a wholesome, for example, freelancer, you need so many skills, not just creating beautiful stuff. I've had friends who were, you know, much more talented than me, creating absolutely amazing stuff. Even, you know, if we are talking about designers in Illustrator and something, they make amazing art, but they don't know how to manage themselves. And it's crucial. And you can be the best in the world. Nobody will know you if you don't have the right skills to, you know, to help. We are sitting in the cinema and the movie starts, and we are like 2 or 3 minutes in. And I remember, like, I remember me turning to my wife and I said, like, holy shit, like this is it. This is gonna be it. So she was like, can you stop? And for the whole movie, I don't know, it's like more than 2 hours long, I believe, I'm not sure. For the whole movie, I was like, can you believe this? Have you seen it? Like, have you seen that ship? Like, come on, like that music. Have you seen the transition here? Like, you can't believe it. And I was annoying the hell out of her. But I knew it, I was blown away. And I haven't felt like this for a long time, even, you know, in cinema. So when it ended, I felt like it was 2 minutes, not 2 hours. So when it ended, I was just sitting there in complete silence, you know, just like staring, like I'm dead. And my wife was like, "What's up? Are you okay? Like, can we go? Like, what happened?" So she was a bit worried, and I was like, "No, there is nothing wrong. I'm gonna remake that." The last time I felt something like this was, I think, at The Fifth Element. You remember that classic, beautiful sci-fi? Like, I felt something similar, you know, with all these costumes and with all the, you know, like the aliens and the ships and everything. It's a different world, and I was blown away. As you can see from the breakdown, my After Effects is, you know, it's like my third child. So it looks a bit different than the normal After Effects because I'm using...
You've got like docked plugins all over the place.
Yeah,
basically.
So the smallest part of my After Effects is the preview window. So like all the other stuff, because I know from experience that it will look good and big if I'm, you know, I've been doing this for so long, the After Effects thing, that I don't need the preview so much, but I need all the type of little things that I'm using.
What would be your advice for someone wanting to do something similar to what you've done here? Like a little personal passion project?
If you want to be good in this field and last for years, like, I think the best advice I can give is that you have to love the whole thing. You have to love what you're doing, because there are many people who are here for the wrong reasons. I've heard designers say, I never understand this, but I've heard designers say that money is good, that's why I'm doing it. And I never understood that, because there are so many kids and amazingly talented people who just, you know, who live the creation, who just wake up and the first thing that they think about was what to create, like getting inspired from everything. And it's what the whole industry is about. Like, you have to love what you're doing, because if you love it, then that's going to be the only thing that will help you through the hard times, because there are going to be hard times, I'm telling you. That's for sure. Can you imagine making a project like this, just, you know, saying that maybe I can get good money out of it? Like, it's impossible.
Sure.
Like, if I was thinking like that, I would have, you know, given up like the second day, when I was just, you know, when I was just doing the clothes and nothing was working out, nothing. Like, you cannot give up. And I think, and the second thing that I love to say is that stay humble, because, you know, if you check this field with the amazingly talented guys, you know, on top of motion design and everything, it's like, it's so crazy that everybody is so kind and everybody is so humble and loves to help. And why is that? I think that's because everybody is so grateful that they are doing what they love and that they are earning money out of it. Like, wow, that's the best thing ever. Like, you have to, like, it's like when you're a kid and just playing video games. Like, you live the best of your life. You love what you do and you are earning money with it. Like, of course you are kind and you love to help to other people, and that's exactly what you have to do. You should do. Be humble and be grateful. I really enjoy watching the works of Thanos, like aka Motionpunk. I don't know if you know him.
No, I don't.
He's amazing, and he's doing great stuff. And the technical knowledge on what goes into their stuff is uncomparable to anything I have ever seen in my life. There is a guy who is doing environmental renders, I think, on Blender, LXP. Again, like crazy stuff, and everything seems so easy when they do it. Like, you're watching it and like, I can do that. No, you cannot do that. It's like years and years of practicing and working, and they are doing only this kind of stuff. So amazing.
That's your advice to all the people out there. Like, go out there and create stuff.
Yeah, and fail.
And fail.
And, you know, laugh.
All day long.
Yeah, fail all day long, because that's about it. Blood and tears, you know, and that's what's gonna keep you going. But no, my only advice is love what you're doing, because that's the only thing that will help you.
Thanks so much to Tomi for agreeing to sit down with me. It was awesome to hear about his process and check out the behind the scenes of this little masterpiece. Make sure to watch the full behind the scenes video, and of course, the Dune tribute itself at rareviz.com. Here you'll also find even more visuals and exclusive work-in-progress renders and screen grabs from the project. Until next time, keep making your magic out there.